In a small snowy town in Vermont, there stood a cozy little candle shop beside Main Street. The shop smelled like cinnamon, pine trees, and warm cookies during winter. Rows of candles filled the wooden shelves. Tall candles, round candles, holiday candles shaped like snowflakes and stars. And on the very top shelf sat a tiny candle named Benny. Benny had never been lit before, not once. Every evening, the other candles proudly glowed throughout homes across town. They lit dinner tables, helped children read bedtime stories, and warmed dark rooms during snowy nights. But Benny stayed hidden quietly on the shelf. "I don't want to melt," he whispered nervously. The older candles smiled kindly. "That's what candles are meant to do," one said gently. But Benny shook his head. "If I melt away, I'll disappear forever." So whenever someone reached toward his shelf, Benny secretly hoped they would choose another candle instead. And they always did. Days passed, weeks passed, winter grew colder. One snowy evening, dark clouds covered the town. The wind howled loudly outside. Snow crashed against windows. Then suddenly, the entire town lost power. Everything went dark. Streetlights shut off. Homes became cold and shadowy. Children grew frightened. Inside the candle shop, the owner hurried around, searching for candles to help neighbors nearby. One by one, the large candles were taken from the shelves. Soon, only Benny remained. The shop owner gently picked him up. "Well, little guy," she said softly, "looks like tonight is your turn." Benny's tiny flame trembled nervously as she lit the wick. Warm, golden light slowly filled the room. For the first time in his life, Benny was glowing. At first, he only noticed the melting wax sliding slowly down his sides. "Oh no," he thought sadly, "I'm disappearing." But then something unexpected happened. A little girl named Emma smiled warmly beside him. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Benny's light helped Emma and her mother safely walk through the dark, snowy streets. Soon they arrived at a community shelter where families gathered together during the storm. The room was cold and dark. Children huddled nervously beneath blankets. Then Benny's small flame lit the room softly. Faces brightened immediately. Parents smiled with relief. Children stopped crying. Emma opened her favorite storybook and began reading aloud beside Benny's warm glow. For hours, Benny continued shining, even as his wax slowly melted lower and lower. Later that night, loud knocking suddenly echoed at the shelter door. A freezing old traveler stumbled inside, covered in snow. It was Mr. Walker. His lantern had broken during the storm, and he became lost on the icy road. "I saw your candlelight through the snow. It guided me here." Benny became very quiet. His tiny flame flickered softly. For the first time, he understood something important. His light mattered, not because it lasted forever, but because it helped people when they truly needed it. By morning, the storm finally passed. Electricity returned across town. Benny had become very small now. Only a little wax remained. Emma carefully held him in her hands. "Thank you," she whispered. And somehow, Benny no longer felt afraid. Because even though he had melted, his warmth had stayed behind inside the people he helped. And in that moment, Benny realized something beautiful. Some things become meaningful not by lasting forever, but by giving light while they can. Sometimes giving your best to others is what makes your life meaningful.